Well, good morning. It's great to see you, and welcome back to the shop where once again it is my favorite day of the week. Yes, it is Tuesday, which is trash day in my community, and what we have in front of us are some examples of items that I have found over the years just sitting out on the curb waiting to be hauled off to the landfill that I was able to bring home and either put right to work with no extra effort at all, or with some minor modifications and repair was able to make them useful again. And I wanted to show you a few examples of, what we can find out there, because we are starting a new chapter on the channel today. That's right, we are starting a new playlist that is dedicated to items that we find that have been tossed out on the curb and are waiting to be hauled off to the landfill. Things like this chainsaw here or this lawnmower. Not everything is as exciting as those type of things, but you get the point. Anyhow, let's stop the chit chat. Let's head on out, see what we can find and bring back to the shop. I usually find stuff on trash day when I'm out for a morning walk. And I have a couple of rules that I try to keep, a couple of rules of thumb, and that is basically it has to be something that I need, not just something that's good. So for example, this console here looks like it's perfectly good, but I have no use for it. Otherwise I'd probably pick it up, maybe paint it up and use it somewhere, but I'll leave it for somebody else, or maybe it'll just end up in a landfill. So let's keep moving. This looks kind of interesting over here. Not sure exactly what that is. Some kind of, I don't know, maybe chicken coop or some sort of rabbit hutch or something like that. Aviarium. Seems like maybe for keeping birds or chickens or something like that. It's kind of been chewed up a little bit, beaten up a little bit. Yeah, it looks like maybe it's a chicken coop. I'm not interested in keeping chickens, but these are kind of interesting. I could certainly, find a use for those around the house, maybe. Covering up some young plants, keeping the deer and the rabbits from eating them, and yet still have access to, to what's underneath. I might come back and pick those up. We'll see. That's kind of interesting. It's a shade. It's like an outdoor kind of shade. Maybe something for the car. I don't know. There's an old shop vac there. I've got one of those. Don't really need that. It's a hard shell guitar case. No guitar. Looks like it was for some kind of acoustic electric. It's kind of cool, but I don't really have any real use for something like that. I think it was cleaning out a basement. But maybe somebody else can use it. Certainly a bucket, maybe for changing the oil in my car. I don't really have any use for a chair like that, so I'll take a pass on that. Now here's something interesting. It looks like it's a treadmill that somebody's put out. A lot of times people will get these and not use them and just finally put them out. Maybe the motor wore out, but this thing looks like it's never been used. And I might break my own rules there. I don't need a treadmill. I've already got one. I don't use it. But this could be a good pickup. I hesitate to pick something like this up, because then my place just becomes a repository for other people's junk, and it's just something else I'm going to have to get rid of. So even though there is no tread on that tread, this looks brand new, just dusty. And it is really tempting to pick something like that up. But I'm not interested in flipping things on Marketplace. And this doesn't have a scratch on it, really. That's amazing. But I'm going to take a pass on that. I'm just going to leave that alone and move on. But that's the kind of stuff that you can find just going out for a walk on trash day. Isn't that amazing? That is brand new. And then there's this, which is on the other end of the spectrum. It's broken, but I sure could use a stool to replace, or in addition to the one that I already have in my shop, so that when I'm working on my car tires or brakes or something like that, I've got something to sit on. It's broken, but I think it might be fixable. I think I might be able to weld that or somehow mend that with some reinforcement. And find a use for that. So I'm going to pick that up and take that with me. And it's also not hard to pick up. It's not hard to transport. So it's a win. And worst case scenario, I throw it out in the trash next week with my stuff if I can't find a use for it. So I'm going to take that, and we'll see if we can't do something with that. Okay, we're back here in the shop with our Tuesday trash day treasure find, such as it is today. What we've got here is a stool that I can use to replace that one there, or in addition to that, just something that I can sit on when I'm perhaps working on my tires, or the exhaust or something on my car. And I think I can probably fix this. It looks like it went like that. It's kind of a poor weld. It looks like something that probably I would do. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to grind this down. See if I can't weld this piece back on. Probably should move that. So wow, yeah. I mean, even on a good day, my welding skills are suspect at best. But a bad situation was made even worse by the fact that this metal is a very soft metal. It's some kind of alloy. It's not hard steel. And every time I would try to weld something, even on the lowest setting with my welder, I would just blow a hole right through it. So I don't think welding is going to work. I think we're left with really very little option for our patient here. I think we're going to have to perform some major surgery. We're going to perform an amputation, where we cut it off right about here. And then we're going to attach a wooden prosthetic inside this tube that we can then attach the foot to. So that's the plan. Let's get to it. So this piece is junk. And what we're going to do is take this dowel and put it inside here. And then we're going to just make sure that the lengths are correct. So something like that. You can always make it shorter, but it's a little difficult to make it longer. And I'm just going to mark where that goes on here. That's pretty good. All right. It's about the same length. So we'll use that mark right there, and we'll drill some holes. All right, now that we've got it all shiny, let's put it back together again. This is the leg that wasn't broken. We took that off again. We just want to measure them. This is the one that we fixed. I think that came out just fine. I think that's going to work out just fine. So as we see, they're both the same length, and we're just going to reassemble them back on the seat here. So let's get going with that. There's really not a lot to it. We just put the one piece on here. Got a couple of holes right through here. We're just going to get these bolts started on both sides. And we're going to just tighten them up with the same Allen key that we took them apart with. So I might put some Loctite on these things because I did notice when I took them apart that they were awful loose. So they might need a little help to stay tight. We'll see. I'll check them again in a day or so, and if they've come loose, I'll put some Loctite on them. All right, we'll get this side just a little tighter. All right. And now the last piece of the puzzle is just attaching the cross bracing together. We don't want to forget the spacing washer right there. And we want to make sure that it's in the middle opening, as is the other one. And you see that we've got a little square piece there that keeps this from turning. And then it's just a matter of tightening that thumb nut. And we have a completed stool. All right. Well, my friends, I think that concludes our very first episode of our Tuesday Trash Day Treasure Finds, whatever we're going to call it. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it was a pretty good episode. It was a fun little adventure. And like I said, I think we're going to try to make this a regular thing every week. And if you don't want to miss it, you're going to want to make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification button. Feel free to leave us a comment. I love it when folks comment and we can have a little conversation back and forth about what you liked, what you didn't like, what you think, what you'd like to see next. All of that stuff helps, as well as, when you give us a like, that really does help. So once again, thank you for tagging along. We certainly appreciate it, and we're looking forward to doing a lot more Trash Day Tuesday type videos. So we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.